people out there, you know, if they buy a single, you know, if you release a single and it's of a particular genre, say it's of a bluesy kind of genre, they're expecting to buy into an album that is going to be reflective of that single right the way through. They're not expecting to buy into an album that, you know, one song's blues and then the next song's a hip-hop song, the next song's a pop song. And so as an artist, you have to be quite conscious of, you know, certainly when I'm writing, sometimes, you know, I might stray a little bit and then I have to remind myself, no, actually you've got to stay within these boundaries because that's what people expect from you. I mean, I'd say that my music probably is a fusion, really, of kind of soul, blues, jazzy elements. It's not really jazz, but kind of jazzy elements, and I suppose a little bit of pop as well. It's just a fusion of all of those sounds, really.
I mean, everything's open as far as, you know, just going back to the last question, that forcing over that, you know, it could happen if the right situation came along. Because you have, you know, because you're like there, you're not stuck in one, as you put it, you're not stuck in a box. So you really can actually move around, free flowing, go do a pop song, or you can go collaborate with a rock band, and you can do different things.
Yeah, definitely. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Now, this right here is probably, one of the most important questions that I am going to ask you.
Okay.
Because I think we have a good idea, and our listeners have a good idea of, you know, what you're about, and I know that they have to be intrigued by now. Now, you're based in the UK.
I am based in the UK. It's raining here as well.
Is it raining over there? Oh, well, it's always raining over there, isn't it?
Yeah, always raining. But
fog or rain or something. You have now. We're in the UK, so you have the likes of, in your, I guess in your, even though it doesn't have a name, but in your style of music, you have Amy Winehouse. You know, she's had her ups and downs, but she's trying to bounce back. Hopefully she does. God willing, she does for her own well-being. Don't want to see anyone go through what she's going through. You have Duffy, a new artist that came out that you know, that skyrocketed with her song, and you have Adele. We're above them. I think I like Adele a little better, but they're all based in the UK. Now, do you find that as a roadblock as you move forward in your career, or do you think that there's enough room for four talented artists and pretty much the same space?
I think every one of those artists that you've mentioned, and obviously including myself as well, I think we're all within the same, you know, the same kind of genre, but I think all of us have something a little bit different to offer. You know, like Duffy, I don't think she's the same as Amy Winehouse. I don't think Amy Winehouse is the same as Adele. I think that there are subtle differences between each of their kind of musical styles that when you kind of hear them on the radio or on MTV, you just kind of immediately know that's definitely Amy Winehouse, that's definitely Adele, that's definitely Duffy. And I definitely think that there's room for one more, because I think that we're all bringing something slightly different and unique to the table. And we're all very different artists as well, you know, we all look very different, and, like musically speaking and lyrically speaking as well, I think that, we're definitely not kind of on the same page, even though we're within the same genre. I don't know if that quite makes sense, but.
Yeah, but it does to a point, because if you look at Amy Winehouse, her music is not like yours and not like Duffy, not like Adele. It's just different, but they kind of rally everyone into the same, I guess, box as far as the genre goes, and whatever the genre is, alternative, whatever. I don't know what it is, but whatever that area is, they kind of put them in there. Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I think Amy Winehouse.
These are. I'm sorry. I just want to say something. but you have Amy Winehouse, Duffy, Adele. They're signed by major labels. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of I guess the indie label front, the two artists that from anywhere. You have other ones. You have like Indie RE and stuff. But as far as she's in a class by herself.
Yeah, she's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Like a Tori Amos, that she's in a class by herself. She created her own, whatever she did. She created her own following, her own
sound. Yeah.
Her own sound. Yeah. Okay. And I think that is what separates. Again, that's another thing that separates a good artist from a great artist. Beyond putting your soul into it, just creating your own style. But Amy Winehouse, Duffy, they're all signed to the major labels. You, and then there's another artist, Lipstone. You guys are kind of like in that realm. But I believe, and it's my opinion, that out of the three that are with the major labels, just focusing on you for a second, that your voice, your vocal talent, I think that you have the ability to be one of the three. Not one of the four, but one of the three, because I think that, and I've heard Duffy perform acoustically, just singing, and she sings, but she's not a great vocalist. Okay? And she's not a great vocalist because if you look at Pink, she performed Janis Joplin on stage a couple of years ago with the guitar and her singing. She blew the roof off the environment. I think she was playing in Germany or something, and she blew the roof off the whole place. But that's talent. That's vocal talent. That's you being able to perform. And you have to have stage presence. You have to have stage presence too, and that's something I think you have. Amy Winehouse has it. Adele, even though she doesn't move around much, she has some sort of stage presence there.
Yeah, they do. Both of those women are incredible performers. I think that's the great thing as well for kind of artists like me, that I look at every performer, like I said earlier, whether they're established or not established, you can always learn something from somebody else, and I'm constantly learning. While I'm on my musical journey, I'm always learning from these artists and taking on board, very subtle things that other people maybe wouldn't even notice, so that when you do come to do a show, that you are completely on point vocally. For me, that's one of the major things. There's two major things, and that's good songwriting and, concentrating on delivering the best vocal that you can. That for me is incredibly important because, I don't want people to sit there and not enjoy what they're hearing, and again, also reproducing everything faithfully to what they hear when they listen to a CD or they, go onto the website and listen to something. Majority of the time, if I do a show, most of the time people will come up to me and say that, that they thought actually that I was much better live than I am recorded. And that's a huge compliment. So that's what I aim to do for every show, really, that I do.
You give it 100%, and that's the way, 110%, that's the way, that's what an artist should do. But you have to have stage presence where you're up there, you're embracing the audience, they're embracing you. Because I've seen artists that are talented, go on stage, and I again, maybe it's unfair, but I just keep pointing at Duffy. I like her one song that she did, Mercy. The other songs are there. But I saw her perform, I think it was, MTV. They were having an award show and she performed. And you can hear a pin drop. And Mercy's an upbeat song and people were like confused. Cause there was no fire, like you come out, your song like that, the crowd should be into it, the audience should be into it, and her stage presence wasn't there. Maybe she was nervous, maybe that's the case, maybe she's still growing as an artist, that could be the case as well, and I hope that's the case for her, because,